right, wonderful. We are live on YouTube and on Zoom. Good morning or good day, everyone. My name is Karen Lee. I am your IIMC's Communications Coordinator, and it's my pleasure to introduce your president, Mary Johnston, MNC, speaking to us today from Westerville, Ohio. Mary, I'm going to pass you the figurative microphone.
All right. Thank you, Karen, and thank you for setting this up for us. It's unfortunate that we weren't able to be together in St. Louis, but this is the next best thing. And I think by now we're probably all pros at Zoom and Google Meets and whatever else we use. So welcome. I hope you're all doing well and staying healthy. And this is just going to be informal. We're going to just, whatever anyone wants to talk about, we're going to go ahead and do that. We do have to end right at 12:30, I believe. Correct, Karen? Because we have there's another session going on. So she's going to have to move over to that. But if you want to, you could add, if you would like to, and I went ahead and did mine. I put my community after my name. If you go up on the upper right hand corner, you can rename yourself. So if you want to put your community in there, that would be great. Well, then we'll all know where you're from. I would like to call out some individuals that are attending today. First off, we do have two past IIMC presidents joining us. We have Mark Lemoyne. Mark, I can see you. And Brenda Young from Nashville, Indiana. And I'm not sure if she's on here, but I hope she is. And we also have current IMC board members joining us. We have Camilla Pittman, Janice Bates, and Marie Moe. So if you're here, go ahead and give a wave to everyone. I'm not sure if everyone's showing up on the screen, but just wanted to go ahead and point out those members. And we also have 3 members that are joining us from the UK. And I can see Bruce and Linda. I don't know if Linda's on the meeting, but she is joining us. And Sarah Jeffrey. She's also a current board member. I'm sorry, Sarah, that I forgot you, but she is a current board member as well. So thank you for joining us. To start off with, I just want to go ahead and open it up to see how everyone is doing during these crazy times since March. And, if you're working from home, you're working from your office, if you're doing in-person council meetings or Zoom meetings. Here in Westerville, we are on recess. Our council takes a recess for 2 months. We met on July 1st, and then we're done until next week, September 1st, and we're back with our meetings. So I've had a little break with council meetings, but we still are using Zoom for some type of meetings that we need to hold. But we will be next week, we will be going back to in-person, of course, with everyone needs to wear masks. We have a council chambers layout where everybody is spread out and where they need to sit. And then there's some other guidelines with citizens that want to come in and make comments, what they need to do, and they can't stay in the chambers. We'll keep them out in the lobby area or outside if the weather's nice, and then let one by one in to make the comments. And then once they're done, then they have to leave. So that's what we're doing here in Westerville. So I'll go ahead and open it up to anyone else that wants to share what they're doing, how they're navigating these different times in their communities. And if you have any ideas or suggestions that maybe some of the rest of the members could use in their communities.
And I'll prompt you that there are different ways that you can participate. You can include something in the chat. If you are on YouTube, you can also add something on the YouTube chat, or you could raise your Zoom little blue hand and unmute your microphone and go ahead and share with us. It looks like on YouTube, Tracy Simons is joining us. Hi, Tracy. Tracy says that in Bedford, Ohio, they're doing their council meetings via Zoom. And City of Kent adds hello.
Somebody had raised their hands. Brenda?
Brenda. Yes, Brenda, please go ahead and unmute.
Hi, Mary. I am Brenda Delbert. I'm the city clerk in Wheeling, West Virginia. We are currently operating on Zoom. I just had a question for you. When you return to in-person meetings, you mentioned allowing the public to come in one at a time and talk. Are you streaming the meetings while you're in person at all, since you're not excluding the public, but since they're not able to attend that way, or do you have a workaround for that?
We do. We are streaming them live. We have a company that comes in and streams it through. We have our own community TV. We call it Westerville TV. And
Okay.
so it is live on that. And then we also use a software to stream it live as well. So that, is always recorded, and then we post that out on our website after the meeting.
Okay, because that's it. On Zoom right now, we're still allowing public comment. We just sent them the Zoom link, but we're discussing starting to meet back in person. And I was kind of worried about the workaround for that, kind of allowing the public to come back or not.
Yes. And we also, I should have mentioned, we also advertise if they don't feel comfortable coming to the meeting, they can email me with their comments or questions. And then that afternoon of the meeting, then I share that with council and the city manager.
Okay.
And then they'll make a reference to it during the meeting.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And I'd be happy to share the information that we put together for like the council layout that we use and the guidelines for citizens that want to attend. So shoot me an email. Someone.
Let's see, Molly Brasher shares that having 13 years experience as a clerk, I've never felt like I'm flying by the seat of my pants. The past 6 months have required me to learn new technology on the fly and still try to maintain high level of competency and efficiency, and it's been a challenge.
I think we've all been there, Molly.
Oh my goodness, yes.
Yeah. It's been a fast-paced learning experience.
And Bruce, I want to acknowledge that you're having tea and not coffee over in the UK.
Hey, Bruce, how are things over in the UK with the pandemic?
Bruce, you need to unmute. Thank you.
I'm seeing Linda here. She'd probably be able to tell you what happens in larger councils. Mine is a very small council. It's been quite humorous, really, because most of my councillors are over the age of 75. My chairman's 82. And it's been quite fun trying to explain to them how to use their new iPads. And in fact, in one case, one councillor went to the other councillor's house and said, "Oh, I can hear you quite clearly, Bruce." I said, "Yes, because I'm on the telephone to you." So you can understand what goes on, can't you? But I think you ought to ask Linda, our president, because she looks after a far greater, larger council than I do. So it'd be interesting to hear her view.
Linda,
great. Oh, go ahead, Linda.
Very happy to chat it, and thank you for letting me. As Bruce says, we're quite different. We're operating almost the same as you, Zoom and live streaming, running all our business as normal, but just electronically. But there is a strong urge for us to move back to meeting in person as a hybrid. So it will be part Zoom and part councillors in the chamber, still live streaming as well. So that's, I can't work my DVD at home. So all this technology is really quite difficult for me, but we're finding a way, as you say, learning very quickly. So.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Does anyone else have anything they'd like to share?
Yes, Mark.
I just wanted to say hello to Mary. Very pleased to have you as president. It was sad not to be able to see you this May, but very pleased that we have continuing strong leadership in Iimc, especially at the presidential level type of thing. Have met Mary before and know her well type of thing, and know what a strong leader she is. So Iimc is very lucky to have you in place, especially right now when a lot of us are so isolated that you need to have those supports and different ways to do this. And very appreciative of you reaching out and doing these Zoom meetings as well, to allow people to share and learn and especially figure out what to do in these different types of times. Here in Canada, we're from a larger municipality, so much the same as you. Much of our daily work has continued. We are, doing all our meetings through Zoom. Did some 300 remote meetings, from between March and the Progue period when our committees went off on Progue for the rest of the year. But it's going well. It is interesting that, while we're doing remote meetings, at our last council meeting, all 16 of our councillors appeared in person. And most of the remote attendance was simply staff and members of the public who wanted to participate. So, it's interesting the different dynamics as politicians feel they're more effective in person. So things are going well, but just want to say congratulations. Thanks, Mary, for doing this. I think it's a great thing, and look forward to watching you lead Iimc throughout the next year.
Thank you, Mark. I really appreciate that. I did miss seeing you and everyone else in St. Louis, but we have Grand Rapids to look forward to. So I hope everyone will be able to attend that. In fact, some of us will be traveling to Grand Rapids in a couple of weeks to take a look at the city and what they are planning for us next May. So I'm looking forward to that. I've been there once before, a couple of years ago for a Region 5 meeting, and they have a lot to offer. And I know the Michigan clerks will be rolling out the red carpet for all of us as well. So if you have any questions about that, we can segue over into the conference. And if you have any questions or want more information, or, if you're going to be attending or hope to attend.
Mary, what are you going to be looking for when you travel in these early stages of planning for the conference?
We'll be staying at the host hotel, which is the Amway Hotel, which is beautiful. It's a combination of an older restored hotel and a new tower. So there's a lot of beautiful older ballrooms. The Gerald Ford Museum is right across the river, is next door. I know there's a lot of great restaurants. There's a lot of breweries. I know there's lots to do. So I'm looking forward to seeing more of them when we're up there. When we were there in 2017 for the Region 5 meeting, it was kind of cold and chilly. So really didn't venture out too much. But they did hold an Athenian dialogue at the Gerald Ford Museum. And I didn't attend that, but I heard it was wonderful, because I believe they did a book on Gerald Ford, so really tied it all together. And Chris will be also traveling, so he'll be there with us as well. So I hope you're planning on attending. And now remember, it is earlier in the month of May. I believe it's the second week of May, so it's not our standard third week. It's a little earlier in May this year, or next year, excuse me.
Brenda Delbert asks, when does registration open?
Registration, I believe, will be announced first part of November. So be watching for that. They'll put out a pre-conference booklet information about the conference, and you'll be able to start registering then and make your hotel reservations at that time as well. So.
And this is also our 75th anniversary.
Oh yes, thanks, Karen. So yes, we have a big celebration coming up with the 75th anniversary. So, as in addition to the conference, we'll be doing some extra celebrating Iimc for 75 years, which is amazing. We've come a long way.
I think that's very exciting. It's going to be my first conference.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it'll be the first conference for a lot of people, including the people who were planning to come to St. Louis.
Mm-hmm. Right. And once you go to a conference, you'll want to go every year. They're so much fun. You meet so many people. The education sessions are outstanding. The Athenian dialogues that are offered and the additional sessions, it's just a great time. It's a great time. You will make lifelong friends. And I can attest to that. We have lots, and it's just a great connection, a great group.
And I think we're just all, like Mark, we're all hoping that travel will improve, both travel for Canadians outside of Canada to the United States, and just travel in general.
Mm-hmm. Right. We've had to cancel a lot of travel plans since May because a lot of the institutes and conferences have been canceled or, pushed over to virtual. So that's been a little hard, but we all want to be safe. We don't want any of us to get sick or anything like that. So hopefully maybe by the end of the year, first part of next year, we'll be in a better spot. But thank goodness we're able to offer all these virtual institutes and Athenian dialogues that have been happening. So I'm hoping all of you are taking advantage of that opportunity as well. It's amazing to see all of the state institutes that are switching to the virtual learning opportunities. So,
may I step in really quick?
Absolutely.
Oh, thank you. The reason I want to get this in because I may have to step away for some other business, but you bring up the online, and I brought this up in a previous meeting. I am so tremendously thankful. You can hear it in my voice because, I talked about how I thought that I was chugging along to get my CMC, and all of a sudden COVID hit, and I'm down. Then everything's getting closed and shut, and then all of a sudden there gets to be this ramp up initially with Iimc, with online and virtual webinars. And then there's this expanse that happens across the country. And all of a sudden I am at breakneck speed, working towards my CMC. And I'm building community in other parts of the United States. And I did not anticipate wanting to attend next year, the conference, and it is on my calendar and I'm saving towards that. So out of this, you have created something really quite spectacular. And I am just thankful beyond words.
Good. Thank you, Deborah. That's awesome to hear. Thank you.
We've been very excited about our virtual institutes too. In fact, there may be people on our event right now who are planning to attend the virtual institute in an hour.
Mm-hmm.
I will be there too. Monica Mayfield, you have your little blue hand up. if you'll unmute, thank you.
Thank you. I can only add to what Deborah just said. I just wanted to say that I am very thankful for having these virtual institutes. I am working towards, I just got my CMC last year in September. So I'm working towards the MMC, and with these virtual institutes, I'm going to be able to obtain a lot more credits that otherwise, even with the conferences, I wouldn't have been able to obtain in such a quick and speedy fashion. So I also wanted to say thank you for providing those opportunities, especially with, upcoming budget cuts. I'm sure that the traveling, even if it goes back to normal, might have some difficulties, but this has just been amazing. And like I said, I just wanted to add, excuse me, thank you so much for providing that opportunity. It's been it's been definitely the silver, if not the gold lining in this whole epidemic, what y'all made out of it. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Monica. I'm so glad you said that, and you've had the opportunities to continue your education, which is very important for all of us in our communities. And so thank you. Is there any other topics, questions anyone has they'd like to bring up for the group or for me or Karen or Chris Shelby?
Quick, may I? Here, let me put my screen up. I am interested in understanding opportunities to volunteer through IIMC, what from, just helping at the conference to higher positions. What would that take? What are you looking for?
My suggestion would be to apply for a committee. We have a number of committees that members can serve on, and on different topics or policies or things that need to be worked on. We have the conference committee, education and professional development, membership and mentor, research, and I know I'm missing probably some others, international relations. So I strongly encourage all of you, if you're not already, to apply for a committee. The deadline for this year is approaching, fast approaching, which is next Tuesday, September 1st is the deadline. But we will start advertising committees for the 2021-2022 year later this year. So if you can't make the commitment now, I encourage you to apply for a committee later this year. The deadline to apply for next year will be in January. And then in February, the executive committee will go ahead and review all the applications, committee applications that are submitted, and we'll place everyone. We don't turn anyone away. We put everyone on a committee, and then you would start your work in May of 2021. So there's more information out on IMC's website about the committees and what their roles are. I encourage you to go out there and also reach out to me if you have any questions, but there's lots of opportunities to serve on a committee. And then once you feel like you're understanding how IMC works, then maybe consider serving on the board as a region director. And that is a great opportunity as well. And like I said, on IMC's website, there's more information on region directors and what their roles are as well. So, and I'm, like I said, I'd be happy to answer any questions about that, but start with committees and work your way up. I think I joined my first committee in 1998, I believe, and I started on public relations and marketing. And I served on that committee a long time, but it's a great committee. And from there, I moved on to others and chaired as well. So, you know, those are great leadership opportunities.
Bruce, I think I saw your hand up.
Thank you, and thank you very much. Just to say, I endorse President Mary's viewpoint on committees. I've served on committees. You don't have to live in America to serve on a committee.
Mhm.
And I had the experience for 3 years of being the regional director for the rest of the world outside of North America. I like to say that because it sounds rather grand, because it's exactly what it is. Chris is laughing, so I know he knows where I come from. I just wanted to give you another aspect actually today, and I don't know whether Linda joined the Zoom meeting we had this morning, but we had a very important meeting this morning from our national bodies talking to the local government association, which is the overall umbrella in the UK for local government. And we were talking about a consultation that's taking place on the code of conduct for members. And I said this when Karen, we were talking about a fortnight ago, Karen, one of the things we're suffering in the UK is bullying of clerks. Now, I know you in America don't probably know that that's a factor, but in this country, it's a real factor, and it's really serious problems at times. And they're trying to change the code of conduct. And I think one of the interesting words that came out this morning is they want to change the word respect of the officer to civility of an officer, and I don't think that went down too well this morning. I don't know if Linda was watching the Zoom meeting, or even Sarah, if she was watching it. Actually, quickly, just let Anne say hello quickly to Chris.
Hi, Chris. How are you?
How are you? Good to see you.
Linda.
Hi, Linda.
And Mark is there.
Hi, Mark. Hope you're all well anyway. Take care.
So going back to that, I don't know what Linda was on the Zoom meeting this morning, or even Sarah, but there was quite a debate from clerks, and it's a terrible situation because people get they get very depressed about it, and they get worried, and they want to do a good job, and then you've got councillors that they're biting at their heels constantly, and it really isn't fair. But anyway, I'll leave it to other people to talk about.
Thank you, Bruce. It is really difficult, and it's hard to, you know, keep a smile on our faces some days, and you know, as clerks, we do the best we can with serving our communities and council and trying to, you know, figure out the best way to do things. So thank you.
Bruce, I have a question of do you think some of this bullying keeps other potential clerks from becoming clerks? Is it so well known that that people who may be wanting to pursue being a clerk refrain from doing that?
Well, I mean, we have something like 10,000 clerks in the UK, bearing in mind we're only a very, very, very small country in relation to the United States. So a lot of clerks live in the community, live in the village. And, you know, if you get bullying and you get verbally attacked in your own community as you're taking your child to school, it's something that's not very pleasant. And that's why we have a great turnover of clerks, and certainly in small parishes. And it's a real challenge for people, and it's quite uncomfortable at times. I've experienced it in 30 years of my being a clerk. I've experienced it once or twice myself. Not serious, but I know others in the UK really do suffer from it.
Thank you.
I think that something that I've heard a lot is that there is a lot of thinking about the future of the occupation of clerk all over the world, and that we're thinking about what what generation is coming up and looking at the clerk occupation.
Yeah. I know when I was a clerk in Illinois, they were trying to eliminate the clerk and the treasurer. And we fought back and was able to keep the position as it was, but it was a struggle at times where they wanted to eliminate it and didn't feel they were important. And it was we had newspapers coming and talking to us about it, and we were able to keep the positions intact. But unfortunately, the treasurer's position in that community, they did eliminate that here a couple years ago, but they did keep the clerk on as a full-time position. So, yeah, it's and that's why we have Iimc, and being able to offer the education so that we know what is needed to be done. We're educated, we're professional, and we're very lucky to have this organization and the opportunities that are given to us to help us grow professionally and personally.
And to help clerks be their own advocates.
Yeah. When I came to Ohio, to Westerville, when I applied, I had my CMC at the time, and that they thought that was very important, to have that certification already. And I think that was one of the points that helped me get the position. They value that. They value the certification. So they've been very supportive. Yeah.
Just piggybacking on what you said and what Bruce was saying, I was on a webinar last week with about a dozen or so executive directors with other nonprofits in various fields, just to kind of talk about what's going on with the pandemic and everything. And the irony is, as great as technology is, it's proven one thing, that you can't do away with the human contact, and which I know a lot of our members, they're really our clerks, our group is the first line of communication within the municipality with citizens. And it was kind of funny how everybody was saying, yeah, all this technology before everything hit was just phenomenal. And now you can only handle so much of this for about an hour or so before you start to get fatigued. I can't replace human connection whatsoever. There is no robot that's going to be at City Hall that's going to be able to, other than give you directions, to be able to answer questions and do things of that nature. So it's kind of brought everybody back to that sense of professional development and what we can do to improve ourselves in our careers personally. And I think the technology, and I know Deborah and Monica mentioned the virtual institutes, and we have the Iimc board to kind of thank for getting those things up and running and having staff create them as quickly as we did. But by the time all of these wrap up in mid-November, we will have had 20 institutes participate. That's 50%, if not more, of our total group. Each institute will have made its own money, and Iimc will have been very, very helpful in that regard. And the most important thing is we kept membership engagement going regarding that. So there are some good things that have come out of this, but then there are some things that we've known all along, and that's the human connection, and I don't think that's going to go away. So
yeah, yes, that's true.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Chris. I think Deborah had her hand up.
I know she had the clapping hand up.
Oh, is that what it was? Okay. It looked like her hand. Okay, yeah. Good. I didn't see it clap. I just saw a hand.
We have a few questions in chat. There is a question about when about the committee application that's posted on the website with a deadline of January 17th. You're able to submit for the current year until Tuesday, and
Right.
the deadline of January 17 is for the next year. So yes, you are able to submit, and it's up to you whether you are applying for this year or next year.
Right, right.
And then another question from Monica is, how or who determines which countries are included in IIMC? I know the UK and Netherlands are part of IIMC. Is Germany a possibility in the future?
I can answer that.
I see a lot of head shaking. No.
We have about between 12 and 16 countries that are part of what we call Region 11, which is outside of North America, which Bruce was one of the directors for the entire universe after us. So we have Israel, we have South Africa, the Netherlands, the UK, of course. What ends up happening is we affiliate with associations that are similar to IMC in those countries, because we feel that there's a symbiotic relationship that we can develop and provide education programs as well as networking opportunities. So we're all happy to include Germany and other countries, but when we ventured out to try to recruit members, language was a bit of an issue in that regard, and sometimes their function did not really align with what IMC's membership does in terms of its responsibilities and roles. So we try to focus on our strengths in that regard as opposed to just a blanket approach. We try to get focused and esoteric in that, and that's how we've been able to grow it from a few hundred to about 5,500 members now outside of North America, which is a great number. And working with them on institutes as well. The UK has an institute, the Netherlands has an institute, and we're trying to, Bulgaria has one, and we're trying to develop one in South Africa as well.
Thanks, Chris.
Yep.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mary.
No, I'm sorry. Do we have any clerks that are new, less than a year being a clerk? Well, I guess we've been around a little bit then. I was just curious if we had any fairly new clerks on the call today. Brenda, you're 2 years? And you're not too far from me, so we're just a couple hours away. So if you ever need anything, let me know. We're kind of close by.
Mary, on YouTube chat, we have a question about the Athenian dialogue.
Okay.
And she asks because she's interested in the couple. And she asks if anybody can join.
Oh, anyone can sign up for the Athenian. Yes. That's a great program. I haven't participated in the virtual part of it, but I've done the in-person one, and I admit some of the books were a little difficult to get through, and I think those that have done the dialogues can attest to that. Some of them were like, oh my gosh, I don't know if I can finish this. But then when you go to the dialogue and you sit there and you talk, everyone has a different perspective, and you pick something up from the book. So I loved it. I think my favorite dialogue that I did was with Mary Lynn Strata, who does a wonderful job facilitating. And we went down to Bryan, College Station, Texas, and did the Junction Boys, which is about the Texas A&M football team back in the 50s when Bear Bryant was coach. And she had 7 of the Junction Boys there come and visit and talk about their experience that one year, particularly on the football team. And it was amazing to listen to them talk about the coach, what they went through. So highly, highly, highly recommend doing them. And we have some great facilitators out there that lead the discussion. And so do it. It's great. I know Janice, I think Janice was on here. I'm not sure. She's one of our facilitators, Janice Bates. Mary Lynn Strata, Camilla Pittman. She's on our IMC board. She's a facilitator. Chuck Tokar, who's a previous clerk and now mayor in Illinois, has done a lot of sessions for IMC. So there are some great facilitators and great sessions. But like I said, I can't, from what I understand, my deputy clerk did a virtual dialogue a couple weeks ago, and she loved it. She said it was great. But that's the only way she has not done an in-person one. She's just did the virtual. But she said it was fantastic. She really enjoyed it.
And like our online courses, our virtual institutes, our Athenian Dialogues online versions options are available for reference on our website where you can look and find what's available.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know how many facilitators we have right now. I know there's quite the list of facilitators, and if you're interested in holding one in your state, reach out to IMC staff, Ashley and Kelly, and they can help you possibly set one up too if you have not attended one or would like to host one as well.
And I think like our online education, the Athenian Dialogues, an unplanned benefit was it, I think Deborah mentioned it, the ability to connect with people from all over because of the accessibility.
Right. Yeah. And we'll be offering them at the Grand Rapids conference as well. I think we have we usually do 4 different dialogues prior to the conference. So it's a great way to earn education points towards your certifications.
Monica says she's done in-person and virtual, and that she'll have her 10th dialogue completed in October.
Yay! Congratulations. Now you will have to come to Grand Rapids, so you'll be called up on the stage and be recognized as a new fellow, because they do that as part of the conference. They'll recognize all the new fellows. So congratulations.
Deborah asks us to speak a little bit about the mentorship program.
We do have a mentor and mentee program, and I know I can't remember. I've been a mentor for a long time. I don't know if we fill out an application, or do we just reach out to Jan and Tammy in membership to get either on the list as a mentor or a mentee?
Both of those.
Both. Okay.
Yeah.
And is that?
Feel free to contact them.
Okay. Yeah. Go ahead and contact Jan and Tammy in membership, and they can help you with getting involved with the mentorship program.
And we have more information about that, including a pamphlet on our website.
Right. That's a great program too. I was a mentor to a clerk here in Ohio, and we don't connect as much as we used to because it's been 5-6 years. So she's knows what she's doing now, but every once in a while we connect, and that's good. She'll have a question, or she's, she got her MMC and she, was able to, hey, Mary, I got my MMC, Unfortunately, it was in March, and so couldn't go up and attend her council meeting and formally recognize her, but it's a good connection, to help out. I just found out when I was a clerk in Illinois, the clerk that I considered one of my mentors, Anita Carlton. And Chris, I don't know if you know this, but Anita Carlton she just passed away I think it was last week. And she was a great mentor, leader, and she helped me out a lot when I first became a clerk. I had the privilege of being a deputy clerk before I became a clerk, so I kind of knew, but when you step into that new role as a leader, you still need help. You still need to reach out and ask questions and just have that support.
What I hear more and more is that a clerk's best resource is another clerk.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And you don't have to, you don't have to be mentors and a mentee. You can just reach out to anyone. If you have clerks near you that have been a clerk for years, don't hesitate to ask. We're able to do that when we go to our conferences and institute in person, and you can network there, but now it's a little harder to do, but yeah, still reach out, shoot them an email or call. We're all here to help each other.
And Mary, I know that outreach is very important to you. It was your idea actually for us to have our swearing in stream.
Right. I worked with our staff here at City Hall, and we were able to do that. So yeah, I felt it was important. It's if you have an opportunity to serve on the Iimc board, you'll see how important it is to be sworn in, and it's a good thing. So yeah, I wish we could have done it in person, but like I said, we all have to be flexible, I guess, and do what's right at that time. But we're hoping that we can do these coffees or afternoon breaks, or maybe we need to do a happy hour. Yeah, Bruce. Yeah. Maybe we'll just kind of mix it up. Next one, we'll do an afternoon session, and then we'll do a happy hour session. But those of you in the UK, that would probably be midnight, wouldn't it?
We recently had a gin tasting event.
I saw that, Linda. That looked like fun.
Yeah. I don't think we're as polite as you lot. By now, my clerks would all be moaning like nothing. You're all very polite over there.
But Karen and I were talking, we hope to maybe do this again in October, maybe every couple months, just to connect and if anyone has questions or, have something they want to share. But I think it's important that we keep the connection and the conversation and look forward to the day when we can be in person.
Because at an in-person event, you would have the opportunity to catch Mary in between, or you would meet her at the coffee urn, and you would have those opportunities to speak with her.
Right.
If we don't have those opportunities, we have to use the tools that we do have.
Right. And that's during the conference, we do have a session that's for first timers at the conference. And you get a lot of information at that session as well. And that's usually in Sunday afternoons, I believe. So if you are a first attendee and you go to you're able to go to Grand Rapids, please attend that session, because there's a lot of information that will be shared about what to expect during the week, but yet other opportunities like committees and other, other things that go on, the Athenian dialogues and all that. So I encourage you to make sure you attend that session as well. Is there anything? We have about 7 minutes. So if there's any last questions or comments, now's the time.
YouTube chat we have from Lisa Johnson. She says, hello, Madam President, and from everyone from Roswell, New Mexico. And she comments that reaching out is one of the best thing about clerks. I am in the state associations in New Mexico. They have a private Facebook group for clerks to ask questions.
Mm-hmm.
Wonderful.
Yep.
And in terms of communication, please feel free to reach out to me to see if I am speaking to you.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Well, when we're in person, clerks are huggers too. So, right? We like to hug.
I will share that was shared with me at my job interview for IIM.
Yep, we're huggers. So be prepared when you go to Grand Rapids. And I'm hoping too, maybe, when things get better, that I'll be able to attend some of the state trainings and conferences too, before we get to Grand Rapids. We'll have to see how things go, but I'm hoping to be able to get out and meet face to face with a lot of the members when we're able to. Is there anything else before we close? I have to share this story. That welcoming video that Karen put together for me that was shared, I believe, last month. It took me 15 times to record that video before I was happy with it. Be in front of a camera like that by yourself and you're talking, and then I, would go back and look at it, and I'd be looking off here or looking off there, and I should have been looking here, into the camera or into the computer. And then my city manager walked in while I was doing one of the takes of it, because he wanted to get a pop out of my refrigerator, and I'm going, no. I have my door closed for a reason. And so then I had to start all over. And so it took 15 times to do that, but it turned out, I was pleased with the results. But speaking in front of a camera like that, nah.
You did that session in one take.
Yeah.
They're all do them a little bit, and then you cut them together.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Gotcha. Well, with that, I think we'll wrap it up, and
we have some virtual hugs coming through.
What's that, Karen?
We have some virtual hugs coming through.
Yeah, we'll do some virtual hugs and look forward to the time when we can do them in person. But I really appreciate you attending today. I hope this was helpful. We'll do it again, like I said. And I just want all of you to take care, be safe, and don't hesitate to reach out to me, to Chris, or to Karen, or anyone at Iimc. We're here for you. We're here to help you, and we will get through this. So thank you. Take care, and I will see all of you very soon. All right. Thank you.